Hello, and welcome back to the channel. If you are not subscribed, hit the button below. Today's video, the 5 mistakes that every Gringa mommy makes when she moves to Mexico. Number 1, you go to the ATM. You get some cash out, which is very different because in the United States, we use a lot of credit cards rather than cash. So you go to the ATM and you get some cash because you're gonna need some cash. And then the cash machine spits out a 500 peso bill, like a $20 bill. So then you go down the street to the nearby convenience store, OXXO. Or you go to the food court in the mall and maybe it's like 11, 12, you're paying for some lunch, and then they say, okay, your total is 200 pesos. So then you give them this guy and then they look at you, they're like, I don't have any change. Your order is like $5 and you give them like a $20 bill and they don't have change for you. So how do you solve this problem? As a veteran Gringa mommy in Mexico, what you do is anytime you go to a place where you can break these 500 pesos bills, you do it. Good examples, if you're driving on the highway at the toll booths, they will always have change. That's a great place to break change. You'll get to know which stores or which spots within your market have change. So I always know that our chicken guy, he can break it for me and then I can have change. Or any big department store, you're usually pretty sure you can find change there. Usually at Walmart you can. So pretty much what you gotta do is you gotta get your money out of the ATM, go and break every 500 peso bill you can at those locations so that when you're heading to OXXO, you're coming with smaller bills. Number 2, very similar, but you need to be sure that in your wallet, you've got change. Because when you finish up at the grocery store, if someone's helping you with your bags, you need to leave them a tip. When you're walking out to your car, if you need some help and someone offers to, the Viene come and offer to push your cart and load your car with your groceries, you gotta drop them a tip. If somebody, one of those Viene help you out of your parking spot, the workers in the parking lot, you gotta drop them a tip. You just need change. And this is so different from when you're living in the United States because we don't ever use change. I mean, when's the last time you paid someone 10, 15 cents, 25 cents? You don't need it, but here you do. So build up your reserve of coins for tips. As a newbie here in Mexico, I've had a few times when I had totally forgot to even check if I had change, or I thought we had some coins in our car, and I will get some help to the car because I have kids and huge water jugs and all kinds of stuff. And then I get there and I realize I don't have any change, so I've either had to pay them like a large bill tip, which Justin wasn't very happy with, or one time I literally had no cash, nothing, and I just told the guy, I am so sorry. I don't have a tip for you. When do you work? I'll be back. I'll come pay you, but I feel horrible. So don't make the Gringa mama mistake and not have your coins. Number 3, the water system here is very different from the water system in the United States. So you need to be very on top of checking your water situation, or else you will make the Gringa mama mistake of running out of water. This has happened to us in a few different ways. One time it was just the holiday season. People didn't come to let the water run into the neighborhood because that doesn't happen all the time. There's only certain times of the week when water flows to your neighborhood and your water tanks can be filled up. So that's one thing, was just the people just weren't working and I wasn't paying attention to our water and I wasn't conserving. So we ran out of water. Another time, there is a key, like a lever that you can turn off and on to allow the water to flow to your house or not. Little kids, I don't know if it was my kids or kids in the neighborhood, turned it off. I had no idea that even was there. We didn't get water because it didn't flow to our house for a few weeks and we ran out. Number 3, in our current home, there is a switch that I have to turn on to move the water from our underground tank to the tank on top of our roof, because that is how the water comes through gravity into our house. It just falls into our home. Turned that lever on at 9 p.m. the other night, fell asleep with Amelia, woke up at 1 in the morning, freaked out, ran outside, turned it off. Luckily, we didn't burn out this pump, because if you keep it on and there's no water, it burns out. But luckily we had enough water, it's slow enough that it didn't burn out. But all the water that was in the tank up above us is all the water that we have until tomorrow. So this is the most recent mistake. But there are so many Gringa Mama mistakes you can make about water in Mexico. So when you move down here, talk to your neighbors, get to know how the water works in your neighborhood, get to know how it works in your home, and be very vigilant and on top of it, or else you will run out of water, like the Gringa Mama mistake I have made too many a times. Gringa Mama mistake number 4. You head to the market and you forget your reusable grocery bags and even your reusable containers. So I learned this because there was an older woman who went to church with us and she was very sick. So her husband requested that we go to the market to purchase warm cooked food, because they have raw food to cook, vegetables, fruits, raw chicken, but they also have stands where people are making what they often call guisados, or like stews or cooked meat with vegetable kinds of dishes. And so you can purchase those as well. And I would have never thought to bring my own container, but right before we left, he said, "Oh, here," and handed us like kind of 2 larger bucket-sized containers with handles and a lid. And so we went to the market, a friend and I, and we weren't even exactly sure which stand they wanted us to purchase from, because it sounded like they had their favorite place and they wanted us to get it from their favorite spot. So we kind of walked around asking questions and figured out we thought this is probably the spot. So we gave the containers and she said, "Oh, this is for Senora so-and-so." I know, because I recognize her containers. So every single time she goes to the market to buy food, fresh food from this lady, she brings her own reusable containers. They fill it up with the food, they close it, she sends it home, and then she hasn't wasted plastic or styrofoam. So awesome. And then of course, I mean, it makes total sense, and I think we're getting better at it in the United States, bringing our own reusable grocery bags. But rather than having to have loads and loads of plastic bags, these are much more durable, so much better. Bring your reusable grocery bags and reusable containers to your nearby market. Don't make that Gringa Mama mistake. Last but not least, Gringa Mama mistake number 5 is feeling intimidated by market shopping and instead resorting to a nearby supermarket or Walmart or Costco or any of those stores. Now, it's not that I'm saying I never shop at those places right now, but my preference, if the market nearby is open and if I'm getting an item that I know I can find at my market, or even if I don't know, I go there first to shop. 1, it's way more fresh. 2, you're supporting local workers who are working hard. 3, you are getting the item for a much more affordable price almost all the time. And so go to the market and shop. Go shop at your market. Get your foods there. A connected Gringa Mama mistake that I made was going to the market without any knowledge of what the price should be of the items I want to buy. Because the intimidating part often of the market for me was the fact that I had to speak Spanish, which is really good practice, but it was difficult, especially at the beginning for me. And the second one was that if there's no prices listed, so you need to be able to understand their Spanish, you need to be able to ask questions, and then there's always the worry that they may charge you more because they know you're a foreigner and you don't know any better. So surprise them and know better, and just know the price that you think it should be. The range maybe, like I'll pay between 40 and 60 pesos for 1 kilo of chicken thighs. And just know what the price range is in your area, and then if they're trying to charge you 100 pesos, you can just say, oh, no thank you. So you always ask first, hey, how much would it cost for a kilo of oranges or whatever you're looking for? And so that is a tip that will help you to not feel intimidated, because you'll be empowered. You'll know what you want, you'll know how much you want to pay, and then you can just say yes or no according to what they're asking of you, because price is negotiable in markets. And that's something that's awesome, and that's something that can be a little intimidating and difficult. So those are the 5 mistakes that every gringa mama makes when she moves to Mexico. So hopefully, because you're hearing this, you don't have to experience all of them. Or maybe you have some additional ones to add. I would love to hear your stories or your tips or your mistakes as a maybe not gringa mommy, maybe as a Mexican mommy, maybe as a gringo papi. So I'm excited to hear. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.